thanks to your talented children, Ricky and Jim, I can say to pop star, international songwriter, Marty Wilde, tonight, this is your life. That's terrible. And it's all said in the theater right here. As soon as the rest of the audience get your seats and we're ready to go. Kim, Ricky, come on. Now, as I said, this was a family conspiracy, and Kim, there is, of course, someone else who's been in on our secret from the beginning.
That's right, Mum. Of course.
She's not at home, Marty, because right here, of course, the girl you married 23 years ago, your wife, Joyce. Oh, dear. Well, Marty Wilde, this is your life, and yes, a quarter of a century has rock and rolled on since you first came on the pop scene of the 1950s and still talked about shows like Oh Boy.
Okay, come and get it. It's Oh Boy! Well, you're gonna want early in the morning. One of these days. Oh, yeah. Well, you're gonna want early in the morning when I'm away. Hey, don't you know, God!
Even in those days, Marty, even in those days, you had hit after hit. Teenager in Love, Donna, and the first one you wrote yourself, Bad
Why
Boy.
must I be a teenager in love? I had a girl, Donna was her name. All the people down the street, whoever you meet, say I'm a bad boy. Say I'm a bad boy. Say I'm a bad boy.
And, of course, 25 years on, you're still writing international hits, none bigger than the song you wrote for your daughter Kim and your son Ricky produced, Kids in America. Back in the 50s, Joyce, you were a 15-year-old fan waiting one night at the stage door to introduce yourself to Marty after a concert, but as soon as he showed his face, he was mobbed, right?
That's right, Amy. There were about 3,000 kids outside the stage door, and I planned to sort of, you know, let him take me home that night and everything. I must have been madly in love with him. You see, he had this big hit with Emma Sleep. The thing is, though, I managed to get a piece of his shirt at the end of the evening.
But Joyce...
Piece of his shirt.
Piece of the shirt, yeah.
Remarkably, you were to meet him again 2 years later when you joined the Vernons Girls, who started to get bookings on the same television pop shows as Marty.
That's right. Yes, you know, the first time I saw him, you know, I thought this big guy, you know, and I really thought he was fantastic still, you know. But all the girls were sort of mobbing him, and he was sort of dating all the other girls, particularly one lady that he actually turned up to the hotel to take out that evening. In fact, he took me out instead. I was very naughty. I took her date. I'm glad I did, of course. And in fact, you know, he ended up asking me to marry him.
He did, and that was really a fairy tale, boy meets girl romance, and it led to your marriage on December 2nd, 1959, at Christ Church, Greenwich. What memories Ave Maria must bring back for you, especially as that's the same girl who sang in church for you on your wedding day 23 years ago. Great friend from the Vernons Girls, Jean Hawker. And Jean, you weren't the only member of the Vernons Girls at the wedding.
No, I wasn't. And I'm not the only one here tonight either.
Certainly isn't, Marty. Back together for the first time in 22 years, the Vernons Girls. Vicky Brown, Helen Taylor-Long, Barbara Winsley, Betty Parker, Lynn Cornell, Eleanor Tansey, Jean Foster, Maggie Shredder, Anne Simmons, Mary Lewis, Peggy Bowden, Carmen Williams. And last but not least, the lady who was chaperone and mum to them all, Marion Finnegan. Put down your chaperone.
I used to creep past her at night, you know. She used to... They had guards all over the hotel, and I used to sneak up to the rooms. Do you remember? Yes. Whee! Sorry.
1960, Marty, and you've a top 20 hit with Little Girl.
Little girl.
What a Christmas present for you when Kim is born that same month. There she is as a baby. Then in 1961 comes Ricky. There he is. Hey, Marty, looks like Ricky was already tuning up for his career there.
He couldn't play it then, and he can't play it now.
He's getting his own back for that drive here tonight. Marty Wilde, this is your life, and you were born on April 15th, 1939, and brought up in this house here at 92 Woolwich Road, Greenwich. You were christened Reginald Leonard Smith after your late father, who was a bus driver. At the outbreak of war, he became a tank driving instructor, and one evening in 1942, he took you to a concert for the troops down in Devon.
And that's when you got up onto the stage for the very first time at the age of only 3.
Your mother, Jessie, and with her your stepfather, Sid.
Dear, hello, darling.
And Joyce's mother, Lillian, and your brother-in-law, Charlie, with his wife, Jackie. Jessie, what was it that 3-year-old future rock and roll star hit the audience with that night?
Well, it was a bit of an oldie, Eamon, but it was his father's favourite, and it was called...
It's a grand
old song they
sing.
No, I'd forget it.
Well, now, Marty, sadly, your father died at the age of just 48, but Jessie had at least lived long enough to see something of Marty's early success.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And what about after Marty's first big hit when he came home? What did he say?
He came home and he said, Mum and Dad, I'm going to buy you a house, which you've always wanted. And he did.
When you left Charlton Central School, age 15, you became a messenger boy in the city of London, but the skiffle music craze was sweeping the country, and every second teenager seemed to be saving up to buy a guitar. You plunged your savings on a second-hand model. Can you remember how much it cost you?
It was about £2 or £3, I think.
That's right, and it leads you to form your own skiffle group, going from Sunday school hops to a booking at the Woolwich Empire.
That's
but
true.
the reception you got could have been more enthusiastic for numbers like this. It's a number regularly played by your very first skiffle group, the Hound Dogs. We've brought them back together for the first time in 25 years. Brothers Ray and Phil Woodward, Vic Henty, and Tony Rossiter. Well, I'm sure you were great, but tell us, Ray, was there any special reason that Marty's spot on the programme with the Hound Dogs didn't get too well received?
Well, in a word, well, more correctly, 2 words: naked ladies.
Naked ladies.
Do you remember the Woolwich Empire? We were playing a girly theatre, and we were very much a fill-in for, you know, between the nude posers. And the audience was maybe 20 or 30 people. And of those 20 or 30 people, 19 or 29 were national servicemen. And at the end of our act, the cries of "get 'em off," we don't know if that was for us or for the act that was following.
Thank you, the Hound Dogs. Well, you split up when your pals here pursue other careers. 2 of them architects, a teacher, a draftsman, and you start to get individual spots in the pop concert business. Now, at the same time, a revolutionary pop music television program was taking the youth of the nation by storm.
Upright, rolling and a-rocking through the night, and my heart's a beating 'cause I'll be meeting the 6-5 special at the station tonight.
Unknown to you in February 1957, when you're playing at a West End club, the producer of that program is in the audience, feeling very despondent because she'd failed to persuade the young Elvis Presley to come over from America. But when you strike up, she perks up.
And after a few minutes of watching Marty Wilde, I thought, who needs Elvis Presley?
Producer and co-presenter of television's most talked about pop program 25 years ago, Josephine Douglas. So, after seeing Marty's act that night, Joe, you booked him for the pace-setting program of yours, a 6-5 special.
Oh, indeed I did, Eamon, did I not? And I was very pleased that I did, because, of course, he became an instant hit. He had a number called Honeycomb. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
That was great, because he went on to appear lots and lots of times after that. In fact, he became what could be called a pop idol of the day. But I'm very pleased to say that, you know, he didn't change at all. As you can see now, he hasn't changed at all.
I love this lady.
Thank you, Josephine Douglas. Marty, when you go on pop concert tours, you're greeted by screaming crowds of teenage girls. And one night in Birkenhead, more than 25 years ago, hundreds of fans packed the Asaldo Theatre, howling for you to come on stage.
But Marty, I had to go out there and keep them happy for half an hour before you came on. Hey, pal, I've got the marks to prove it.
Of course, host of Winner Takes All, and soon of a new Sunday night variety series, that great pal from way back. As you said, Jimmy Corbett. Jimmy, it certainly sounds as if in those days you were thrown to the lions before Marty came on.
Yeah, well, you know, they were great days, and unexpected laugh, check your fly for Eamon. So, all as I can say that they were great days, and because of Marty, the compere didn't turn up one night, and he got me stuck into a show, and then in Birkenhead, Billy Fury and I, well, Ronnie Witchley was his name, went on, and of course, in those days, Marty was a bit tall for radio, and so it was just carefree and great, and it's great to see him done so well and his lovely family. It's a pleasure to be here. You know,
Jimmy Corbett, thank you. Well, out of the blue comes an invitation to make your West End debut in a stage musical, Bye Bye Birdie. And someone who has to be rehearsing in a new musical in New York tonight co-starred with you in it 21 years ago. Legendary star of West Side Story and so many hit musicals from Broadway now, Chita Rivera.
Hello, Eamon, and I've got to tell you, I really love that guy you've caught tonight. Hi, Marty. It may be more than 20 years since we worked together, but I look back on him with great pleasure because you were such a knockout to work with. You were the pop star Conrad Birdie, remember? And I was your agent, Secretary Rose Grant. But you were a really dumb pop star, Marty, on the stage, that is. I mean, not in real life. And I recall that press conference scene we did together. So the press wouldn't hear your dumb words. I had to kind of like organize a chorus of fans to belt out on cue. We love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Conrad. Remember? That was a lot of fun. In real life, Marty, everyone in the show loved Marty Wilde, and I love you very much. Love to you now and yours.
Thank you, Tita Rivera in New York. After that West End musical, Marty, you get the chance of a role in a feature film.
But I'll always say this for you, Marty. Success didn't go to your head.
You're right there, mate. It went straight to his plate of meat.
They started that 1963 film Crazy World with you, Susan Maughan and old pal from Boy Meets Girl, Joe Brown. Joe, how exactly did success go to Marty's feet?
Well, you see, we did this film. You remember the film?
I do.
How could he forget?
I can't forget that.
He played the part of Herbie Shadbolt, you see. And it's a good name, really. Better than Reggie Smith, isn't it? And he had to wear these big hobnail boots. They're about size 15. I think he only got the job because he only had feet that would fit him. Congratulations.
Susan, tell me, even Marty's feet did grow on you, didn't they?
Well, they grew on everyone, especially on Marty. You see, in the part of the film, they gave him the most enormous pair of boots they could find.
There they are.
Look at the size of those. Very right.
Especially made at Camel Laird's.
Thank you, Susan Maughan and Joe Brown.
Thank you, man.
Of course, Marty, by the mid-60s, you're very much a family man, and Joyce, so that you and he wouldn't be separated, you became part of a new act, the Wild Three. And the third member became a great family friend who went on to find fame himself with the Moody Blues, Justin Hayward. Well, Justin, today, of course, you're very much a star in your own right, but you've said you learnt a lot from Marty.
Well, I mean, not many people know that Marty was one of the first real, big rock stars before the Beatles to write his own material. And I remember him saying to me that to survive in this business, you have to write your own songs, right, Mark?
That's true.
And that led to me writing a song called Night in White Satin. And for that, Mark, thank you.
Well, thank you. You've never looked back since. Thank you, Justin Hayward. You go solo again, Marty, when Joyce quits the business to become a full-time mum. And one day, in 1974, three ladies from the bingo hall next door to your recording studio thought they were helping you as a last-minute stand-in for your missing backing group, but had no idea during a half-hour rehearsal session with you, Marty, that they were on candid camera.
It's getting close. At the end. Was that okay? Good take, was that? Good take, was that? All right.
Happy with it? Would you like to tell the ladies now the show that they're really going on?
Yeah.
You tell them.
Well, I'll tell you, you've been on Candid Camera.
No, they didn't turn professional, Marty, but they're here tonight. Two of them, Mrs. Bernie McGowan and the girl who gave her all there, Mrs. Miriam Steinbach. And the man you just saw there, producer Peter Gillette. Marty, increasingly over the years, you've turned your talents to writing pop smash hits. You've had more than a dozen songs in the charts, much encouraged by a great family friend who also happens to be one of the world's most successful pop producers. He's here tonight, too, Mickie Most. Well, Champ, how would you sum up Marty Wilde as a songwriter?
Well, I can't think of many people who've had 23 years as a songwriter and still having hits, and I think he's one of the best, and I'm so happy for him tonight, and all his friends think he's the best as well. Good luck.
Thank you, Mickie.
Thank you, Mickie Most. Now, Marty, I'd like to take you to a night nearly 25 years ago. A youngster clutching his guitar goes to the backstage entrance of a Merseyside theatre and asks the doorman if he can see you. You're passing the door at the time and hear him say he's written a few songs that he'd like you to sing. You stop the doorman giving him the heave-ho and invite him to your dressing room to hear him.
Rise in the morning, you're not around.
That was to become a smash hit, and so was the singer. Of course, Billy Fury. Well, Billy, I know that Marty liked what he heard, and he pulled quite a surprise on you, didn't he?
He sure did, because he brought the promoter of the rock and roll show along to hear those couple of songs, and within 8 minutes I was on the stage myself.
That's true, that's true.
And from then on, we went on touring together.
We did.
And you were my first big break.
Thank you, Billy Fury. Marty, quite a few more pop pals of yours with whom you've worked over the years would agree with every word that Billy's just said. And what's more, Marty, they're here. From your original backing group, the Wildcats, Big Jim Sullivan, Brian Bennett, Brian Locking, and Tony Belcher. From your present backing band, John Clements, Chris Baker, and Mark Wilmot. Rock stars, Vince Eager.
Oh, no. Oh,
Wee Willie Harris.
All right, well done. Congratulations.
Wee Willie Harris.
Wee Willie. Willie boy.
And John Lang.
John, oh, dear.
And representing the stars for whom we've written today's hits, from Status Quo, Rick Parfitt. And lastly, your great pal and musical director from the hit film Stardust, Dave Edmunds. And if you look at that screen, Marty, you'll see a couple of likely pop stars of the future joining in. Your two youngest children, 3-year-old Roxanne and 18 months old Marty Wilde II. And there, Marty, we close what's been quite a week for you. A week which began quietly and very privately as you and Joyce retook your marriage vows at St. Peter's Church, Tuin, Hertfordshire. 23 years of marriage. And Joyce, over the years, I know how much you both wanted more children. Then, after an unfortunate series of miscarriages, came along those two little miracles we've just seen. And to complete your night, Marty, you're going to see them again right now, not in bed, but right here, Roxanne and little Marty.
Darling. Come on, Marty.
Marty Wilde, this is your life. Come on, take it back.